All right, Shalom. Shalom. This is Hara One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Nagwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right. Um, Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Today's lesson is going to be titled Awake, Awake, thou that sleepest, and Yahweh shall give thee light, or Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. All right. Awake, thou that sleepest, and Yahweh Shai shall give you the light. Basically, the light of truth. He shall give you wisdom. He'll bring you closer to Yahweh, who is the true light. Yahweh Shai shall shine his light upon you, which is what? The spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit. All right, righteousness. So the whole focus of this is the picture. You see the picture in the background from the movie Hancock. And that picture always stood out to me because it reminds me of us in this truth. Matter of fact, let me get that. This is where is it at? Let me start off with something else real quick. This is Jeremiah 51 and 20. Thou art my battle axe. Talking about the children of Israel. All right, the children of Israel. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 51 and 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them. So our portion is who? Yahweh. All right. Some people say it's talking about Jacob right here, but it's talking about Yahweh. He's our portion. For he is the former of all things. All right. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance, man. All right. So we Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai belong to us as we belong to them. Yahweh of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapon of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. All right. Hold on, man. I got this goddamn distraction. One sec. All right. So we're the Lord's army. All right. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. But you see us, if that's the case, then what is this? Revelations 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was exed out too, his name. And the truth about him, they started lying about Yahweh Shai here in America. Um, but it says what? Our dead bodies, us being what? Spiritually dead. We were going to be over here, and the nation was going to witness us sleepwalking. And they of the peoples and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, all right, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So they didn't allow us to have rest, to know the truth. 350 years and more today in these times now, they've hidden the truth from us, which would allow us to have rest. Yahweh Shai is our rest, right? But they didn't allow us to be, um, exposed to the truth. Now, But there was a promise given. Let me go to something else real quick. There was a promise given in Ezekiel 37. Where's that? Let me go here. Um, there you go. This is the vision explained, Ezekiel 37 and 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, this was Yahweh speaking to Ezekiel, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried. See, dry without water, uh, right? And our that goes into malnourishment, not having the word or the spirit of the Lord to build us up, or having no hope, or our hope is lost. See, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore, prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh, power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves. See that? We were spiritually dead at man as a nation, and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. All right. So the Lord gonna cause us to come up out of our graves in this hell that we're living in, and He's gonna bring us into our land, the land of Israel. But right now, well, um, here in Babylon, we witnessed um, our people sleeping, right? Which goes into inactivity, right, or ignorance, or being blind, spiritually blind, until you wake up to the truth. All right. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. And we do. So the Lord basically called us back from being Gentiles. It goes into the book of Ephesians. We were without Yahweh Shai, without the light, having no hope. We were walking around in darkness. But now, um, we've been given a straight path out of darkness into the side of the light, and that's the side that Yahweh's on. All right, and that light is the light of truth that leads you to the presence of Yahweh. That's the yellow brick road that'll lead us to the promised land, lead us to Yahweh's presence. It says, and I shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and shall place you in your own land. Then you shall know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahweh. And if you understand this movie Hancock, uh, uh, later on in the end of the movie, you find out that he was an angel. All right. And he had certain distractions, certain things that would weaken him. He started off the beginning of the movie with a beer bottle in his hand, which is something that he would have picked up from his surroundings. Just like us, we picked up a lot of wicked ways here in Babylon. That way it says it's polluted. All right. But once you wake up to the truth, the Lord starts to guide you back into your character. He gives you, just like in the movie Hancock, later on, once he got his character, he was given that new covering. You see that? So the Lord is cleaning the inside of the cup before the outside of the cup. But first you have that initial exposure or waking up. So I take this picture in the background a couple of ways. One, it looks like us just sleeping in the spirit is waking us up. Two, it's like Esau kicking us, and that'll wake your ass up too. Little Edomite boy was like, "Wake up, Hancock!" He woke up mad as shit. But that's us, man. The beggar, really, the superheroes. The word superhero goes back to well, hero, but superhero would go back to the word God's powers. All right, and the Lord said, "Ye are gods, but ye shall die like men, like the princes." He was referring to people like Alexander. Even though they were mighty and strong, they still were mortal men. But us, we're actually gods, but we die like mortal men, which is a curse. All right. So now let's get into the topic. Um, Ephesians 5:13. Ephesians 5:13. It says, but Ephesians 5:13. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. All right. No, let's go to 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. Right, because we're pulling away from the darkness and transitioning into the light. But rather reprove them. So we're sent here to rebuke those and reprove, blame those works of darkness. All right, we're here to teach our people, and we're here to reprove Esau's works of darkness as well. These nations, for it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret, man. Some of the shit that people look at Diddy, we ain't know all that, but all the things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, man. And whatsoever doeth make manifest is light. So whatever comes out into the open is light, representing the truth, the truth of the matter. All right. Other than that, you hiding secrets. Wherefore he saith, "Awake, thou that sleepest." So the Lord is saying, what? Wake the hell up. Wake the hell up, man. Stop being distracted. Stop being asleep. All right. And arise from the dead. We have to rise up from our dead ways, from dead works, from sin, from darkness. All right. We have to rise up from the dead, from sleeping. And Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. All right. So he's gonna give you the light, and that light is gonna be our guide. He's saying stand up, rise up, and walk. And the Lord's gonna direct your path to him. Because we're in darkness. Or we were in darkness. But the Lord is leading us all the way back to him. All right. So now let's go here. Say he shall give you light. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. See, first you wake up from your sleep, and you stand up and rise up from the dead, the congregation of the dead. Um, and then you begin to walk, which is your patience. And you gotta be circumspect, watching your surroundings. All right, but we're following that light. Shit. One more distraction. All right. So it says here, let's go to yeah. So we got to walk, right? Begin to walk, bear our cross, go through the afflictions, pressing forward towards the kingdom, walking in the spirit, redeeming the time because the days are evil. All right, because we're in the evil times, where traps are set on the left hand and on the right. So Psalms 119 and 105. Psalms 119, 105. It says here, so what is the actual, he said, awake and the Lord shall give you light, meaning the truth, the Holy Spirit. All right. And the Holy Spirit is going to remind us and lead us and clarify thy word. It says Psalms 119 and 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. So what's the lamp? What's the actual lamp that contains the light? Is his word. And we know the word is who? Yahweh Shai. And a light unto my path. All right. So, but we know the word comes from Yahweh. All right. So the word is a containment of his light, just like we are. Um, that word is a lamp unto my feet, man. So what's the light? Is his word ultimately. All right. The spirit of Yahweh, the presence of the Most High, and a light unto my path. See that? So he said, awake, and the Lord is going to give you light and lead you on the path, man. Right? So now, so you can see Job 12 and 20. Because you got a lot of people that's still walking in darkness. A lot of our people that have not been recovered from the devil, the deceiver. And you have some of our people that still deceive themselves on a daily. Even I myself, and um, you wrestle, man. Not whether you of the elect. We ain't got time for that shit. I'm talking about some brothers I know out there that may be wrestling um, with this right here. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 1. They wrestle with this. Uh, Jeremiah 1 and 7. But say, we go to 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb into this matrix, the word womb uh, also goes to matre, which would be mother, which means matrix. So once we come into this matrix, we forget who the hell we are. And um, we're left to the criticisms of humanity in this matrix, where they say, you're just a carpenter's son. What's up, my Negro? Oh, that's a black baby. Oh, they're putting all these bywords and proverbs on you. You know, hey, what's up, little boy? You're growing up. Your parents, your neighborhood, um, Esau's politics, right? Telling that you just a Jake, in the ghetto. Well, we're way more than that. Just like at the tip, if you see the tip of the mountain in the ocean or iceberg, there's way more at the bottom. Uh, so before we came forth out of the womb, we were sanctified, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. That's what you are. You're a prophet to the nations, not just some Jake walking around here trying to find his damn way. No, the Lord gave you light. You just need to be still enough to hear his voice and be reflective of that light. Get your angle correct, meaning get aligned with the Lord. But Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child. See, some brothers wrestle with this. They say they're not ready. For thou shalt go to all that I send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak, man. And we know what the Lord commanded us by the scriptures. So the Lord is the word of the Lord is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So the Lord said, wake, and he shall give us light, man. All right. Well, wake, O mighty man that sleepeth. Um, let's go to Job 12 real quick. Right now, we're focusing on what is the light. He said he's gonna give us the light. Well, what is it, and why is he giving us the light? 20. Let's go to 20. It says, uh, he that removeth, or he removeth this. Now, this is Job talking about the power of the Most High. All right, the power of Yahweh. He removeth away the speech of the trusty. So the Lord took our speech away. He said we were going to discontinue our heritage from our heritage. He took that away from us, and taketh away the understanding of the aged. All right. He poureth contempt upon princes, and he did that, and weakeneth the strength of the mighty. All right, 'cause we were strong. He said, "Ye are gods, man." And under her feet is the sun and the moon, meaning knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And the Lord took all of that away from us. He stripped the bride of all her dainties and her strength and her might, that her protection. Um, because we were going off being wicked, we didn't deserve it. He discovereth the deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out to the light the shadow of death. Damn. All right. So at the end of the day, that's what the Lord gonna do. The Lord is exposing all wickedness. And that's what he did with us. He searched out wickedness and found it. All right. Within Israel. And we got judged for that. So he increased the nations and destroyed them. So he increased us as a nation when we came out of Egypt. Oh, starting from Abraham, the promise of Abraham, we were going to be as the sand of the sea. So we got increased when we came out of Egypt, going into that land of Canaan or Israel, which is our land today. Um, when we went into that land, I would say the promised land, that sounds more direct, accurate. Um, the Lord increased us as a nation, and he destroyed us as a nation. All right. Just like he increased Esau as a nation, and he's going to destroy them as a nation. The Lord killeth, the Lord maketh alive. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. He got the keys of hell and death, great chain in his hand. So he enlargeth the nations and straighteneth them again. Afflicts them, Straighten means affliction. He taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth. Damn. So the Lord took away the pride, the confidence, the heart, our mind, just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar around 540 BC. The father of what's the name? What's the name? Belshazzar, right? Of Babylon. He took him off the throne, made him go into the wilderness, and had him bugged out till he turned to a wild man, like he was on fentanyl or something. And then he brought him back to his senses. Put his heart back into him. That, that's a perfect example of what the Lord is going to do with us. You know, cause us to go out into the wilderness and lose our damn mind when we got prideful. As soon as we got into the promised land, we did like Nebuchadnezzar did. He got boastful. He said, "I built all this," and that's what our people did. So the Lord said, "Okay, get out." And he Uncle filled us and threw us out, and we've been wandering in the wilderness ever since. until our nails grew and our hair grew like eagles and wild beasts and eating amongst the cattle. It's all symbolic, you know, just like Nebuchadnezzar did. So the Lord can take away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth and causes them to wander in a wilderness where there is no way. All right. So imagine that. All the paths are hedged up, no way, until the Lord makes a way. All right. Like a highway. And shows you the light. And you like, damn. And you start to follow that path. They grope in the dark without light. All right. So we're in the wilderness where there's no way, no light. So we start to grope in the dark. And he maketh them to stagger like drunken men, being drunken with philosophies, idol worship, you know. So being vulnerable, lost, the lost children of Israel. So the Lord can have it. He said he can destroy our mind, our soul, and body in hell, like right here on the earth. Have you spiritually sleep, spiritually dead. All right. So go here. First Peter 2:9. You can go to it in your book or on your phone if you want. If not, you can just listen. Um, First Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation. All right. So we are that chosen generation. The promise came from who? Abraham to Isaac, and it landed on Jacob. And we're here to live out that promise today. This is that generation. All right. A royal priesthood, man. So we're royalty. This priesthood is royalty. It's a heavenly Sanhedrin, a council, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, into his presence. So the Lord has called us from darkness now. He sent us into the darkness because we wouldn't listen, into the wilderness, and we were groping in the dark. And the Lord has called us. That's the truth calling us to wake us up and to come into his marvelous light, to be in his presence where it leads from a river and it opens up into the wide. It leads from one little candle and it leads you to an inferno, you know, one little speck of light or beam, which will lead you to um, the light of truth, the light of Yahweh. All right. So it says here, it says, which in a time, no, so he, of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people. See, the Lord cast us away, but are now the people of Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now obtain mercy. So he ain't putting that mercy on another nation. No, it's towards his bride, towards his daughter, the nation of Israel, the bride of Yahweh. We didn't obtain mercy before. Now the Lord's going to show us his mercy, his full mercy. All right. So which in time past were not a people. So the Lord cast us away from even existing. That's deep. Oh, okay. Oh, let's go to let me switch this so I can see what I'm looking at. Let's go to, there you go. All right. So now I want to go to Peter. No, let's go to yeah, First Peter 2:9. No, Luke 7, Luke 1:76. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 76, all the way to 79. I'm gonna share this tab. Um, Now this is speaking about the prophet John the Baptist. All right, also known as Yakanan, which represents grace um, and mercy. So um, this is talking about John the Baptist, who's also known as Elijah, who's also known as Abba Bivens. All right. And when he speaks about John the Baptist, he's also speaking about us. So he's speaking about John the Baptist being a prophet. We are prophets, you know. And thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the highest, just like the elect today, the hopeful elect. But John the Baptist, he was divinely and directly called. For thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare his ways, like a usher, the usher of Yahushua, um, right? What they call that? The town crier, person that comes out and announces the Lord's return to give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of sins, man, through the tender mercy of our power, whereby the day spring from on high have visited us. The water, the day spring, the waters from um, the presence of the Most High has visited us, talking about Yahushua, to give light to them that sit in darkness. See, Yahushua is that light. All right. So the Most High sent Yahushua to give us that light, the spirit of his son, Yahushua, spirit of truth. And in the shadow of death, all right, to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. So the light is to do what? He said, awake and the Lord shall give you light. Is to guide us into the way of peace. All right. So without that, we'll still be groping in the dark. Without the light. All right. So go here. John 3:19. All right. John 3:18. He that believeth on him is not condemned. So you're not condemned. You're not in darkness if you believe in Yahweh Shai. But you got to follow what he says. All right. Other than that, you'll remain where you sit in darkness. But he that believeth not is condemned already. All right. It's like Yahweh Shai approaching you and saying, come with me. Imagine that if Nathaniel wouldn't have listened to who was that? Philip, I think, approached him. But Nathaniel said, um, can any good come from, I think it was Nazareth? No, what he said, what did he say? I'm going to go to it real quick. Yeah, can any good come from Nazareth? And he said, and he immediately got up and followed after Philip to go see the Messiah. That means what? The Lord didn't have to wrestle with him. All right. Uh, he had his own doubts, but he believed the truth instead. So John 3:18, he that believeth on him is not condemned, man. You're not in darkness. It's like the Lord approaching you with the light and you still sitting there instead of getting up and following him. He said, follow me. That we said, follow him. All right. So today, spiritually, we follow him whithersoever he goeth. All right. But he that believeth not is condemned already. Sheesh. Before the destruction. Because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Yahweh. So if you don't believe in the name of Yahweh Shai, that whole camp, everything you built up is condemned. IUIC, GOCC, all these Christian churches. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. So, all right. Oh, no, it's like it, verse 19. And this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than the light. The light was too bright for them. So they said, "Nah, I don't want to walk. I don't want you to lead me to the Father. I'll find it myself. Nah, I'm not interested." And they just sit there in darkness because their deeds are evil. See that? Or like somebody saying, "No, I don't want to come into the light because you're gonna see how ugly I am." You know that. You know that after hours, when people used to go to, well, I don't go to clubs, but people used to go to clubs, and then after hours, um, the lights cut on, and they last call for alcohol, and they cut the lights on, and you realize you was sitting there dancing with a orangutan. Oh my goodness, right? But in the dark, you thought you was dancing with a figure eight Coke bottle shape, filling her face like Ray Charles used to do, fill the wrist. But then, when them lights cut on, man, and you able to see, you see you got sitting there dancing with a damn gorilla. So for everyone, or a hyena. So so people love darkness rather than the light because their deeds are evil, man. All right, a lot of people don't want to change their ways, and they're distracted, and they don't want to trim their lamps, trim away sin, which takes effort. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. They hate the presence of the Most High. Neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light. All right. So the truth is what's going to lead you to the light, which is the truth is light, but it's going to lead you to the light, which is the presence of the Most High. All right. That his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh. Come out shining. Shining, somebody say diamonds dancing in the dark. Then you cut on the light, they dance even more. That's how you want to be. All right. So let's go to this real quick. Where was that? That was John. Let me go to Psalms 16:11. This Psalm 16:11. It says, "Thou wilt show me the path of life," which is the light, right? Thou wilt show me. No, let's go to Psalm 16:9. Therefore, my heart is glad. Your heart should be glad in this truth, man. You shouldn't be walking around. Well, you could get distracted by the things around you, but at some point, your heart should be glad, focusing on the kingdom. But then you focus on the kingdom and you don't want to do the work, or you focus on the kingdom and you don't believe that the Lord can save you, or guide you to Him, or guide you through this maze called the Matrix. So your heart should be glad, man. Not uh, faint, you know, weakening. Your heart should be glad right now because we about to get the kingdom. And my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. See, the flesh, because for me, what I've learned about myself is some of us, we have childhood trauma, right? From abuse, people talking down to you, getting beat all the time by your parents, sometimes for their own personal anger. Um, so we have to same way you teach your spirit, you got to teach the flesh. All right, and the flesh only learns through sensory. So if it senses danger, it's gonna stay in that defensive state until you teach your flesh that it's safe. So you have to teach your flesh that it's safe because your flesh, as myself, you can still think you're in danger when you're not, from the way you grew up. I grew up in South Philadelphia, so um, you have to teach the flesh to be calm through what meditation, which is just calming the mind, not these chakra, not that weirdo stuff, but just meditation, meditating on the scriptures, meditating on one simple thing is meditation. Because even when you go to sleep, the brain doesn't stop thinking. So that's not real rest for the mind. That's rest for the body. But when you meditate, you focus on one thought, and it gives the mind a break from focusing on too many things. So keep your mind single. Therefore, my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. Man, it's the spirit of rejoicing. And my heart, all my flesh also shall rest in hope. So, damn. All right. So your mind, soul, and body should all be balanced in hope, gladness, and rejoicing. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell in this condition that we're in. The Lord's not going to leave us here. Neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. All right. So Yahweh Shai, he's on the cross. The Lord Yahweh raised him up. He didn't suffer him to see that corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. See, that's the promise. That someday he's going to raise up Yahweh Shai and he's going to show us the path of life through him. In thy presence, see what? So the light is in his presence, the presence of the Most High. He is light itself. So any piece of that light represents the source. All right, whether it's the truth, whether it's wisdom, these are all essence of righteous light. And in thy presence is fullness of joy. Not, so the joy that we feel in his presence is the fullness of it. That's what the angels witness. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore on the right side, the righteous side. Right? So that's where the light is going to lead you to. The fullness of joy, the fullness of light. All right. Now this wasn't even my lesson, but I'm just kind of putting some. I put some scriptures together right before I got back on this time. Cause I actually did this lesson yesterday morning, and it was more based on spiritual power. But as I rewrote the lesson, cause I did the lesson in on my phone, but the earpiece was messed up. It didn't pick up the sound. So I did an hour lesson, and now I got to go back and do it again. But the Lord got me going in a whole different direction. All right, focusing on the light instead of spiritual power. All right, the Lord's gonna wake us up, as I was showing you in that Hancock picture. All right, right here. He's gonna lead us, give us the light, and lead us to the full source of that light, which is the presence of the Most High. All right. First John 1 and 5. It says, here you go. First John 1 and 3. Make sure I can see this. First John 1 and 3. It says, that which we have seen and heard declare we unto you, that ye also may have fellowship with us. And truly, our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Yahushua. And these things write we unto you, that your joy may be full. Right? Then this is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you that what? That Yahweh is light. So to be led by light to the light, that represents Yahweh being the source of that light. All right, that Yahweh is light, and in him is no darkness at all. See that? If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. So to fellowship with the Most High in the spirit of light, or in the light, in his presence, we can't walk in darkness. But if we walk in the light, or in the truth, in righteousness, as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another, and the blood of Yahweh Shai, his son, cleanseth us from all sin. All right. So that light can blot out all darkness, all the spots in our garments. Everything is so bright that you can't see none of that. You know, we're cleansed through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, the water, the washing of the word. All right. So let me go here. This is Isaiah 51 and 16. Isaiah 51 and 16. It says, and I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand. That's me with his protection, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. It's deep, man. So to say unto who? Zion, not to the world. It says, awake, awake, stand up, O Yerushalayim, the city of peace. Talking about the elect. All right, stand up, man. Stop resting, stop sleeping. Which have drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she have brought forth, neither is there any that taketh her by the hand, all the sons that she have brought up. So we were in darkness. You know, there was no one to lead us in the way of righteousness. All right, because we didn't listen to the Lord and his prophets. So the Lord saying, well, awake, man. We've been put to sleep. The Lord knocked us the hell out because we wouldn't listen. All right. So I'm gonna go here. Isaiah 52 and 1. This is Isaiah 52 and 1, not 51. That'll be 52. All right, I'll share this one. Awake, awake, because this was my original lesson. And I may title it this. All right. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, man. So put on the spirit of the Lord. All right, that's a covering. Other than that, we're walking around naked, you know. So in wickedness and sin with no covering, bearing our own sins. But the Lord said if we walk in the light, we walk in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, then we have a covering for our sins. And that covering is the spirit of Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit, the spirit of truth. So awake, put on thy strength. So put on your full armor, put on righteousness, and cast off the ways of this world. O Zion. Zion is the government and the mountain of Israel. All right, the government, the exalted amongst the Israelites. Put on thy beautiful garments. It's beautiful. All right, the law, statutes, and commandments in Yahweh Shai. O Yerushalayim, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and unclean. All right, so that's spiritual. So what did he tell Peter? Don't call that common, which the Lord said is not common. Don't call that unclean, which the Lord said is not unclean. So that's talking about who? The elect of Israel, whether we're Israelite Jews or Israelite Gentiles. All right, the uncircumcised meaning not cut off from this world, still walking around in sin and wickedness and breaking the laws, and more so intentionally, all right, or unknowingly in sleep, and being asleep. Shake thyself from the dust. So you gotta literally shake yourself from the confusion of this world. The Lord said this place is polluted, and it shall destroy thee with the sword of destruction. And it said this, um, we had to shake thyself from the dust, shake this shit off us. Arise and sit down. So arise and sit down amongst the council, amongst the judges, amongst the kings. Take your place in his army. All right, arise and sit down. How you gonna do both? So he basically telling you arise and take your place. Oh, so get off the ground, and go sit in your damn judgment, your seat. Oh, Yerushalayim, loose thyself from the bands of thy neck. All right, so the Lord gave us power to loose ourselves from the body of this death, which is where is that? There we go. All right. So, like, thanks for bearing with me if you're still here. I had fucking glitches, man. You know how it go. You just gotta be patient. You gotta be patient through it. So, where was I? Isaiah 52 and 2. All right. And it says here, let me go back, make sure I'm recording. So the Lord is saying, awake and put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, this, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and unclean. So that goes with Amos chapter 9, where he said he's going to seal up the breaches, close up the breaches, so that um, no, what you say, measure the temple, but not the outside. Outside of the temple is going to dwell the uncircumcised and unclean. Put it like that. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down. So take your place amongst the elect, amongst his council, the prophets. O Yerushalayim, loose thyself from the bands of thy neck. All right, so loose yourself from being captive to sin and Esau's the wiles of the devil. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 25. It says, in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, if Yahweh peradventure, meaning he has to predestine you to be free. All right. Peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth. And that's repentance, to acknowledge the truth. And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will, man. The devil having their way with a lot of our people. But the Lord gave you the power to loose the bands from off of thy own neck and off the people around you. All right. Setting the captive free. Um, what do I want? Was there? So I'll read this a little bit more. It gets pretty interesting. For thus saith Yahweh, ye have sold yourselves for naught. So our people sold ourselves for nothing. All right, a harlot would at least sell herself for money. Our people have sold themselves for nothing, following after envy, envying these nations. And ye shall be redeemed without money. See that? So we're redeemed by the blood of Yahweh Shai. For thus saith Yahweh, power, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, right? We did. We went into Egypt during the time of Joseph, during the 7 year famine with Jacob. And what was that, around 1876 to about, I think 1872, right? The famine ended. So, but in the midst of that 7 year famine, Jacob went down into Egypt, sojourned into Egypt, and then they started treating us, putting hell on us. All right, that's what the Lord called that the iron furnace, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. So we went amongst many nations and got oppressed, just like the Assyrians during the time of uh, Tiglath-Pileser, right? Um, and also the captivity, 722 BC, right? The Assyrians were coming up against us and oppressing us all the way up until Ashurbanipal, or actually all the way with the Babylonians too, because they were Assyrians. Now, therefore, What have I here, saith Yahweh, that my people is taken away for naught, for nothing? They that rule over them make them to howl, saith Yahweh, putting pain and affliction on us. And my name continually every day is blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doeth speak. Behold, it is I. Sheesh. All right, so I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I want to read the whole thing, but I'll do that in another lesson. All right, so we're in that time where we know it's the Most High Yahweh that's going to bring us out from this captivity. Because they said that in what's that? First Maccabees 2:10. Let's go there real quick. I think it's 2:10. Yeah, First Maccabees 2:10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom? Talking about in Israel, and gotten of her spoils. So, what nation on earth has not had us in captivity and we've been oppressed? You know, here you go. This is Jeremiah 2:20. For of old time I have broken thy yoke. All right. So of old time the Lord has broken our yoke. So of old time the Lord has, if you look in the ancient times, over and over again the Lord has broken us out of captivity and burst thy bands. And thou saidst, I will not transgress when upon every high hill, so every nation that get exalted, like Egypt, like Assyria, like Babylon, like America, Rome, Greece, and under every green tree thou wanderest, playing the damn harlot, man. All right, if the tree like is, if the kingdom like is flourishing, our people like, yeah, man, I'm a Egyptian. I'm a I'm a American, right? Um, so the Lord said, well, we were backsliding. That's right, man. So where was that? Let's go to, so the Lord said, awake. All right, backsliding Israel. We slid right in the damn darkness. Slid right off a damn razor blade into a bucket of alcohol. Isaiah 60:1. It says, arise and shine, man. So arise and shine your damn light. All right, light that is on a hill cannot be hid. For thy light is come. All right. So shine, man. So what is the moon supposed to do with the sun? The sun, the light, the moon reflects the light from the sun. All right. You can look at a new moon at nighttime, you won't see the moon there. But when it's direct, it's specifically angled with the sunlight, you have different phases of the moon until it's in full. Just like who said that? King David? There you go. Where is it at, man? Cause I can't find it. Hold on. This is Sirach. Okay, this was Sirach speaking. 39:12, not David. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, For see, you say from out of thy belly shall flow rivers of living water. For I am filled as the moon at full. See, once that spirit is in you, your joy, the spirit of truth, the Lord going to overflow your cup with oil. So we're filled as the moon at full. So what's a full moon? Is not the new moon. It's not all right. So I am filled as the moon at full. So it's filled with what? Light. So that lets you know when you see when you see that moon and it's full of light completely, that's called a full moon. All right, not the new moon. That's a cut on IUIC. So the moon at full of light, that's called the full moon. And then the new moon is no moon at all. You don't see it in the sky, but it's still there. That means it's not reflecting the light of the sun. All right, not in our angle where we can see it. Uh, or the earth is blocking the light of the sun from the moon. All right. So I am filled as the moon at full, man, with what? Wisdom, with truth, with joy, with light. Once again. All right. So we had to reflect. He said, reflect Isaiah 60 and 1. We got to be like the moon. And Yahweh Shai is the sun, which is the moon is a lesser light from the sun. We're supposed to reflect his light. And we go through our phases until we reach full reflection. But we're still a lesser light. Arise and shine, for thy light is come. See that? So arise and reflect your light. He said, go out to meet him, trim your lamps. And the glory of the Lord Yahweh is risen upon you. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness. The people is gonna get worse out here, man. Because leasing is at hand, meaning lying. The lying is gonna increase. And the darkness is gonna increase here on this earth. And gross darkness in the minds of the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. All right, talking about the elect of the children of Israel. All right, so now let's go to these are not the precepts I had earlier, but I'm gonna do this one though. Malachi 4 and 2. But unto you that fear my name, well, 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. All y'all think you walking away from teaching, walking away from the truth. Whatever the hell you thinking, that day is coming. And you gotta have works, and your light gotta be shining bright. You can't just uh, hide and then think you're gonna pop back up when the destruction comes. When you're like, oh yeah, they was right. No, you gotta do your works, and you gotta grow old in your works. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. That's right. So those that walk in darkness, they're gonna be stubble. All right. And you can't say, oh, yeah, I've worked until I got gray hairs. No, the Lord said, be faithful unto death. And then the Lord shall give you a crown of life. Paul was faithful to the end of their life. All the disciples were faithful to the end of their life, even Yahushua. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. So the Lord going to rise up, Psalms 91, and take you into the chariots and give you spiritual abilities, and then secondly, a new body. Because we're going to be able to experience the power of the Lord in these mortal bodies first. right? Which would be a surreal feeling, to have that power like King David in them had. Samson, they was in the same flesh from Adam. So the Lord is able to raise us up in this flesh as well. But to live for eternity, to be righteous, we need them new bodies. All right, because flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. And ye shall go forth. So the Lord gonna rise and shine his light on you, man. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. So imagine calves, or cows, however, cattle coming out of the stall after it was taken care of and personally taken care of by the shepherd. And then he let them out to go play. That's Revelations 21. And ye shall tread down the wicked. See, New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, from Yahweh. For they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh. All right, so they're gonna be like ashes under the sole of our feet. I mean, I hate to get a little Edomite into it, but yeah, get my point. All right, so it's about him waking up from that American dream, and they said the first fight you got to fight is the battle of your mind. And he was fighting his losing the battle with himself. Because if you're losing the battle with yourself, how can you even fight the battles in the world? That's what this story was about, Hancock. Later on, realizing that he was an angel, and where angel just means messenger. All right. Let's go to Romans 13 and 11. 13 and 11. Excuse me. I'm going to go to this right here. That one. All right, I'm going to end it with this. This is Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, so we at midnight, and the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. All right, so I'm gonna end it there, man. Hopefully, this is edifying. Let us cast off the works of darkness and put on uh, the marvelous light. With that, I'm gonna say, Shalom, man. We got choices to make. All right, Shalom.